Hey guys, I've got a trekking pole review for you today. These ones are the Leki Corklite trekking poles. They've been pretty good so far. They do have the nice speed lock connectors here, so when you're extending them, makes it nice and easy. All you have to do is pull it out and then snap them closed, and then it'll be nice and strong, as long as you make sure that you tighten up the bolts on here. And that is one of the issues that I have found, just because of the shape of the poles. Because on the bottom part here, get it back together, it's really skinny at the end here, so it moves fairly easily, but then it gets larger as you go down, so it gets a little bit harder to open up. But I could just loosen this up a little bit and it would make it a little bit easier. But right now it's even hard to lock the speed lock here. It takes a little bit of extra effort to open and close it. And it especially takes a little bit of extra effort to slide it back together. But overall, these have been pretty good poles. They do have measurement readings on here, everything from 100 centimeters to 135 centimeters, which is nice because then you can make sure that the top half and the bottom half of the pole are both set to the same spacing, so that it's a little bit of a stronger pole. If you put one, like if I were to put this top one up at 130 centimeters and then leave the bottom one like this, the pole won't be as strong because this section here is going to be to its max, whereas the bottom section is not going to be used at all. So it is a good little tip. Make sure you have both the bottom and the middle one, especially if you have a 3-section pole like this. Bottom one and the middle one set to the same distance. The Corklite one here, obviously by the name, does use cork, so the handle is mostly cork. There is some rubber, as you can see on here as well. The cork isn't really my favorite thing. I don't know, I kind of got these so that they would shape to my hand, but because there's so little cork on here and there's none on the sides, I haven't found that it shapes to my hand very well. One thing I do really like about this is the sort of the knob on the top here. I find when I'm going down steep inclines, it's nice to be able to hold on to the top, and then as I go down the hill, I kind of use that as a third and fourth leg just to stop myself from falling forward or putting too much pressure on my heels as I'm stepping down the mountain. So that's always really nice. The wrist straps here are adjustable as well. See if I can get it open here. So there's a little piece that snaps up there, and then it allows you to make them smaller or pull them out bigger. Now, I don't usually use the wrist straps, but I did find on these ones, because it is twisted at the top here, and I'm not sure if it's supposed to be, but this one is twisted, so I find that it kind of digs into my wrist a little bit, but I don't tend to use them. I just hold on to it. If I drop it, I can usually pick it up. If I were crossing a stream or something and I was really worried about dropping the poles in and losing them, then I might use the wrist straps, but I find it works just fine without them. Overall, the comfort, the little knob on the back here is kind of in the wrong place for me, just because my hands are a little bit bigger. I find the bottom of my hand rubs against it quite a bit. It hasn't been anything that's caused any sort of damage, like no blisters or anything like that, but I am conscious of it being there, and depending on how I hold the actual pole, it can put a little bit of pressure onto my hand. But other than that, been good little poles. I've had them for, I think it's about 6 months now, so they've had quite a bit of work, and they are still in one piece. I should also mention that on the bottoms it does have the sharper points. I'm not sure exactly what they're called, but they are a little bit sharper. They came with some tip covers on them. They weren't for actually hiking, like you wouldn't be able to put any pressure on them. They were just to cover up the point for shipping from the manufacturer to the retail store. It would have been really nice if they came with little rubber feet as well, so if you're on rocky terrain or if you're using them in a city or on some kind of path, that you don't actually dig holes into the ground. So that would be kind of nice if they had that. It would also have been nice if they put snow baskets in with them as well. These are just summer ones. I did use these to go snowshoeing a couple weeks ago, and because it's just a summer basket, they obviously just went right into the snow, and these were pretty much useless with the summer baskets on in the snow. You can always go out and get a couple more and you get the actual snow baskets. These just slide off. I think they just twist off here. I haven't actually taken them off, so I don't actually know. Yeah, so it's coming off right there. So you just slide it off, and then you could slide on the snow basket instead. Other than that, everything's been pretty good. They're really nice and strong. They're about 20 ounces. I think they're 19.5 is about what they are, so they're fairly light. I do have one set that's a little bit lighter, but it's not quite as high quality as this, and it doesn't have the speed lock on it, so it's a little bit harder to open and close. It's one of the twist ones, so if you don't tighten it quite enough, you could plant it in and the whole thing just collapses down to its packing size. So those are of course the Leki Corklite trekking poles. Thanks for watching this review, guys. I'll see you guys for the next one.